Hello everyone. So let's start with today's live stream. So gold, as you can see, we had this market structure shift. We have this 1 hour candle close below this last low, indicating that market has now shifted its trend, and that's the reason we're expecting a sell in gold. But today's market is very slow, as you can see over here. It's a sideways market. It's kind of a consolidating market today. Even though we had news today, still the market is very slow and it's very sideways. Only in the Asian session we had a good push to the upside. After that, London was completely sideways. But post London, we had this move to this zone, which was our point of interest to sell. And after that, again, New York, there was a little bit of volatility after the news. But again, it's just a sideways movement. Market came down and took out this low of the London session, and then market went up again. So just in Asia, we had a good move. After that, market has been very sideways in the London and also in the New York session. So currently, market is not giving us any kind of trendy move in any direction. And as you can see, we had this zone as our point of interest, which market tapped into, and then we were looking for a nice and clean structure shift, which we kind of had over here, but the next candle was very strong, so it's possible that this was just a liquidity sweep, and that's the reason that I did not enter over here. And even if I did, my stop loss would be at this high, which I think would be taken after the news, because we had this massive candle which took out this high. Special in this broker. In other brokers, it has not been taken, but in this broker, market took out this high. So it would have been a loss if I would have entered. So I was just observing the market and seeing what price actually wants to do. And I was waiting for new breakout structures to the downside. And specifically, what I was waiting for was the 1 hour candle closing. And that's why I told you that I will update new move in gold after 1 hour, because I was waiting for the next 1 hour candle to close, which was this candle. Only if we had this kind of a move where this would be the candle like this without any wick to the upside, in that case, we would have a clean order block in the 1 hour time frame, which would be our point of interest. And then from that order block, we could have looked to sell on tap, and obviously we have to see a clean and structure shift in the lower time frame. So if we got that, then we could have sold from here, and we could have targeted this as the initial low, and then we could have targeted this as our next low, and below that we have got these levels as well, 4 hour order block and then daily order block. But the thing is that market did not move like that, and market was just sideways, like I've shown you in the lower time frame, just playing with the session liquidities. So that's the reason I was very interested in trading gold today, and I did not take a trade today. And I'm still observing the market, and it's possible, very much possible, that market can again push to the upside. Because if we look at the structure, then it's a very sideways kind of structure that market has created, which is not very healthy. Because if market actually needed to come down, then market, yes, it has given us a good reaction from the zone, but we needed to see a clean drop. But that hasn't happened yet, and it's just a sideways movement. Hunting liquidity, obviously, as you can see on the upside, market is hunting liquidity. In the downside, market is also hunting this trend line liquidity as well. So it's just a liquidity hunt which is going on in gold right now. And in that case, I'm not getting involved in this kind of price action because the structure is very messy currently. So we have to wait for market to give us a clean structure. And one more thing that I wanted to tell you is that yes, even though we had a 1 hour structure shift and we're looking to sell gold, the problem is that first of all, in the 1 hour we don't have any point of interest, right? So we are selling from a 30 minutes point of interest. That's the first point. Second point is that it's definitely very much possible that this breakdown was just an inducement and not a market structure shift. Because if we go to the 4 hour, then in the 4 hour, what we have over here is this fair value gap. So it's definitely possible that market came down and tapped into this point of interest, which was the nearest point of interest in the 4 hour time frame. And after that, market has turned bullish once again, and it is pushing to the upside. And obviously, in the coming times, it is going to target this last high. It is going to target this liquidity at $36.75. So this is definitely a possibility. In that case, this is not a market structure shift, it's just an inducement. And why am I saying this? Because in this price leg, we don't have any point of interest on the 1 hour time frame. The only point of interest that we had was actually this order block from which market already gave us a reaction. So if you'd have looked to sell from here, you could have easily found a sell from this zone and you could have targeted this low. So this would have been a nice sell trade, obviously. But this is not the healthy correction that we were expecting in gold. In that case, what we want to see is a strong drop, which is not happening yet in gold. So in that case, you have to be a little bit careful over here. It's very much possible that this is just an inducement for the sellers to come, inviting sellers like they say, and then market has again gone to the upside. Because if you look over here, then we have got a very clean structure shift in the 1 hour time frame. And also we have got some point of interest which has been created over here. So first one is this fair value gap which has been created. And below that we have got this order block. So what I want to tell you is that right now market is not in a trading zone. You have to wait for market to either give us a new breakdown with the point of interest in the 1 hour time frame. So let's say now we get a candle like this, a red candle like this, and we get another red candle like this, let's say. So something like this. In that case, what we will have is a new break of structure in the 1 hour time frame along with displacement. Now that's the important part, because in that case this is going to turn as an order block from which we can look to sell on a pullback. So if market pushes up from here, taps here, then from here we can look to sell and we can target this low. Then this will be a very clean and clear setup to sell gold. But till that happens, market is not in a very safe position to take an entry and sell. Okay, so that's the thing that I wanted to share with you. And that's the reason I was just watching the market and see what can be the next possibilities which can give us clear market structure for us to take an entry. So this would be our ideal sell setup. Now if market comes down, gives us a new breakup structure below this low, and also like I've told you, these are the point of interest which we have in the 1 hour. If market trades through these levels, then this will be a very clean, you can say, indication that market wants to drop further, because market is trading through this point of interests, which it should not do in case market wants to continue to the upside. In that case, market needs to respect this point of interests. But since market is trading through them, then this is very clear that market wants to go down and take out this liquidity, because here we don't have any more point of interest. The only thing that we have is liquidity. So that means if market does something like this, Then on pullback, we can sell till here. So this is going to be our bearish thesis in gold. And for that, we want to see a break of structure below 36.40. Okay. But let's say market creates a candle like this, and the next candle market comes down, taps to this fair value gap, and then this order block, and then market does something like this. That means market gives us a displacement, let's say in the 5 minute time frame, and also a structure shift. In that case, what will happen? In that case, obviously market is again bullish because market is respecting the zones. In that case, we will be looking to buy gold from here. Our stop loss would go below the 5 minute structure, and we can target this high. This will be our intraday target, and after the obviously liquidity will be this one, which will be at 36.75. So this will be your buy trade in gold. Okay, so these are the two possibilities, and both of them depends upon this point of interest that we have in the 1 hour time frame. If market creates this kind of back-to-back red candles and disrespects this point of interest, that means we can look to sell on pullback. But if market actually respects this point of interest and gives us a displacement in the 5 minutes time frame, in that case, that will indicate that this is not a market structure shift, but just an inducement in the market. Means this was just to induce sellers. And in that case, we'll be looking to buy gold, and this is going to be our initial target, and this is going to be our next target in gold. Okay, so I hope that is clear to you. Right now, market is in a no trading zone. This whole consolidation sideways movement is something that you don't want to be a part of, right? So you want to see a clean structure in the market, and also you want to see a clean point of interest from which you can take your trades. So now you just have to wait and you have to see what market does next. If market comes down, which it should, because market is slowly coming down. So you have to see whether market is able to give a new breakout structure below this low. And also what we want to see is a 1 hour point of interest. Then we'll be looking to sell on a pullback. But if market does not do that, if market comes down, taps, and immediately gives a displacement to the upside, in that case, we'll be looking to buy gold, and this is going to be our initial target, and this is going to be our final target. So I hope it's clear to you how you're looking at gold and what are the two possibilities, both bullish and bearish scenario I have discussed with you. Still, if you have any queries, you can ask in the chat below. So now talking about silver, let's see what's going on. So silver, as you know, it's bullish, and I have told you multiple times that you should be looking to buy silver because silver is much more bullish than gold. So if we go to the daily, then what do we have? Okay, so if we go to the daily, then as you can see, we have got this as a liquidity. Below that, we have got this as a fair value gap, which is our point of interest, the nearest point of interest in the daily time frame. So if silver comes down, takes out this liquidity and taps into this point of interest, then we can make obviously our entry from this zone and we can target this high. Okay, and this is going to be our trade setup initially, but silver is much more bullish, and I'm expecting market to take out this liquidity at $44.2 eventually in the upcoming months. Okay. Now, if we go to 4 hour, then in the 4 hour, we had this order block, this massive order block. And let's see in the 15 minutes if we have something. So in the 15 minutes, what I can see over here is that silver has given something like this, a structure shift, right? So market was creating lows, high, another low, another high, another low, sweeping this low, and then another high. The only concerning thing over here was that there was no point of interest which was created. This whole price action was actually totally balanced. There is no imbalance which is being created over here, and that's the reason that I did not take an entry in silver. Yes, there was an imbalance over here, but this is after the structure shift is done. We want to see when the structure shift is happening. We want to see point of interest is created over there, like a fair value gap over here. But since we do not have any kind of point of interest, that was the reason that I did not really take an entry in silver. And here also I was just observing the market. And I think silver is actually okay. So it's just low resistance liquidity which is being created. And again, in silver also market is kind of sideways. There is nothing much which is going on in silver as well today. Asia had a good expansion. London was again sideways. New York came down, took out the London and expanded again. So same like gold, silver is also sideways. But right now we don't have any kind of entry in silver because we don't have any kind of point of interest. So it's very much possible that silver can actually drop again. It can again come down and it can take out this liquidity in the daily. And two possibilities can happen. Just after taking liquidity, market can become bullish once again. For that, you have to go to the 1 hour time frame and see if there is a clear structure shift after taking out this low. If there is, then you can look to enter from here and you can target this high. But if market continues to drop after taking out this liquidity, then you have to focus on the nearest point of interest, which is going to be this fair value gap. And it's possible that after tapping here, you get a clean 1 hour structure shift. Then you can make your entry from the point of interest in the 1 hour time frame, and you can target this high at $41.7. So that's the update that I have in silver. And in both gold and silver, I'm expecting a pullback. Similar thing I'm expecting in gold as well. In gold also, you can see that there is exhaustion in the market. The buyers are getting, you can say, weak every day. And very soon there should be a nice correction in gold because we had a massive run from this low at 3,300. Market went till 3,700 almost, right? So around $400 of move. That's 4,000 pips, right? Which is huge. And that's also in a very short time frame, 20 August and 10 September. So that's like just, how long is it? It's just 20 days. Just 20 days. Within 20 days, we had this $400 move in gold. So obviously there should be correction and it will happen very soon. And I'm still positive about that. But talking about the intraday structure, we have to focus on this. As you can see, market has come down just like I told you that market will come down and test this point of interest. Now, if we see a break of structure like this, let's say this candle closes like this, and the next candle also closes like this, disrespecting this point of interest, right? In that case, on pullback, we can look to sell. Okay, so this will be our selling trade. But let's say market respects this order block, and from here market just sweeps the low, or let's say market just taps the order block and becomes bullish once again. That means market gives us a structure shift in the 5 minutes time frame. In that case, that means that market is respecting these order blocks. Then we'll be looking to buy from here. Stop loss will go according to the 5 minute structure. Initial target would be this high and the final target would be at this high. So this will be the scenarios that can play out in gold. Now we have to wait for this candle to close and also for the next candle. Okay. So let's see now how market closes this candle. We have around 32 minutes. So you have to wait for that and see how this candle closes. And also the next candle is going to be very important. So it's nice that market is actually giving displacement like this with good volume, which is indicating that the sellers are in control. So now if we get a strong candle closing with a big body, and also if the next candle trades through the order block, that means market will go down. So we can look to sell gold. But we have to wait for confirmation, obviously. Okay, we have to wait for confirmation. Okay, guys, if this stream is actually helpful, then make sure to like the stream. you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe the channel and also join the free Telegram channel where I keep sharing market updates related to gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, and also forex pairs sometimes. Talking about forex pairs, let's see what's going on in GBP USD. So I've talked about this 1 hour order block yesterday in GBP USD, and as you can see, market is respecting this order block. The 5 minutes, what happened? The 5 minutes market, okay. The 5 minutes market broke structure over here, which was very high. Then market came down all the way and market tapped into this point of interest where we had this order block plus this fair value gap, and from here market became bullish once again. Okay, so GBP West is bullish overall, and I'm expecting market to take out this high in the coming days, and after that this high, obviously, because these are very close, so both the highs will be taken simultaneously. Okay, so right now, is there any point of interest which is created? So in the 1 hour, I don't have any point of interest. So let's see what market does next. Till now, there is no entry in GBP USD. If some kind of point of interests are created in the 1 hour time frame, then you can look to enter from those point of interests. If we look at Euro USD, then Euro has also given us a good move from this 1 hour order block, and it's in the 4 hour. Okay, in the 4 hour, market has tapped for here. Okay, so that's fine. It's the same zone as the 1 hour order block. So market came down, and again same thing. There is no point of interest in Euro USD as well. If we go to the 5 minutes time frame, this is the last low, high, low, and market broke the high over here. So Euro USD is also bullish, but I have to see 1 hour point of interest to make an entry, which we don't have yet. So I'll be waiting for further price action, and if we get some kind of a point of interest, I'll be interested to buy Euro USD and target this high and this high, obviously again very close highs, so both will be taken simultaneously, and after that we have got this high as our final target. So Euro USD, GBP USD, both are bullish, and I'll be looking to buy them. Okay. In the daily, if we get a pullback to this zone, so that would be a nice entry. But here we have this fair value gap from which market is reacting. So it's possible that market can here also push to the upside as well. Definitely possible. So keep your eyes on your USD. If we see some kind of point of interest in the 1 hour time frame being created, you can look to enter from those zones with confirmation. Same thing in GBP USD as well. I would have preferred if market came down to this order block, and from here I'd be interested to buy, but we don't have that yet, so we have to see if market gives us any kind of point of interest in the 1 hour, then we can look to take an entry from there. Okay, so for now we have to focus on gold, and silver is again sideways, so I'm not very interested. I will wait and see what silver does next, but let's focus on gold now. So gold has taken this low, and let's see what it does next. If gold wants to continue this drop, then it's definitely possible that gold is going to reject from this zone in the 1 minute time frame, and gold is going to continue this drop. So let's see what gold does. Market has tapped into this fair value gap, and we're just observing gold to see how market reacts from here. Till now, we have a good reaction. I've got this strong green candle with good volume. So let's see what market does. In 5 minutes, this is going to be the order block, and it's possible that market dumps again from here. So you have to be very patient right now with gold because the structure is kind of sideways. No, Sandra, not yet. If we want to buy gold, then we have to see some kind of a confirmation, right? We don't have any confirmation yet. Right now, market is testing the nearest order block in the 5 minutes, and it's possible that market respects this order block and drops again from here. It's very much possible. So you have to be careful. You cannot just take an early entry, right? You have to be very careful if you want to make an entry. So right now there is no confirmation to buy gold. You have to wait. So this is the zone, which is the resistance, right? And if you look over here, then last high, sorry, last low, high, another low, sweeping out this liquidity. And now if market breaks above this, then on back, you can look to buy gold. But till then, market is bearish and market can respect this order block and drop once again from here. So you have to focus on the lower time frame, on the market structure, and decide accordingly. If I want to buy, what I would prefer is market to tap into this order block because most of the time gold actually taps an order block and then it gives the continuation move. Not always, but most of the time that's what happens in the higher time frame. So that's what I would expect. If I want to buy, then I'll wait for market to come down again. Once again, take out this low, give another low, and then go up, breaking above this high. So this would be the indication for buy, and then on pullback to a point of interest like a fair value gap or an order block in the 5 minutes time frame. We can look to buy from here, and our initial target will be at this high 36.57, and our final target would be at 36.75. So this would be the trade setup if I want to buy gold. I want to see market up into this order block, the lower zone. From here, I want to see a clean structure shift with displacement. That's only when I'll be interested to buy gold. But right now, this is not a very good trading zone where market is. This is a no trading zone basically. So it's better to just watch out the market and see what market is doing. Just observe the market, right? Today is a very bad day, specifically in gold, because it's a very sideways market and there is no trend right now in the market. Even though in the 1 hour we have this market structure shift, but right now if you look at this price action, then this is a very bad kind of price action and there is no clear trend in the market. If you want to take a scalp trade over here, then it's a very dangerous. So we have to watch very carefully and see how gold reacts. And if we see any kind of a clear structure, only then we should be taking trade. Else we should ignore the market, and obviously market is there every day. So if not today, then tomorrow we will wait for a nice and clean structure, nice and clean setup, and then we'll be interested to take an entry, right? So capital preservation is the most important thing in trading. If we just chase every move, then it is going to be very, very difficult for us. So you have to be calm and composed, wait for clean market structure, identify them, wait for confirmation, and only then make our entries. Okay, so keep this in mind. So market is testing this order block. Let's see if market trades through this. Then maybe we can look to buy gold. We will have a fair value gap. We will have an order block. So on pullback to this order block, we can look to take an entry. But this will be a scalp entry, obviously. So we have to keep our positions small. We have to risk very small in this trade because this is not a very high probable entry. Like I told you, right now market is in a no trading zone. So you have to be very, very careful. So let's see what market does. Let's see. It's still possible that market comes down, taps into this order block, and from here, if we see displacement in the 5 minutes time frame, we can look to enter trade. Important thing is that if we look at this price action, then in the 1 hour time frame, we don't have any point of interest, right? For me to find out this point of interest, I had to go to 30 minutes time frame. Here also, if you look at the price action and if you want to sell, then there is no point of interest in the 1 hour time frame. But in the 1 hour, if we look towards the buying, then here we have got this order block, we have got this fair value gap. Below that, we have got this order block. And also we have got this market structure shift along with displacement, indicating that buyers are actually under control in this market. So in this case, it will be better if we look to buy with a high probable confirmation, obviously. So just wait now and see what market does. You have to just wait and see if market trades through this line on pullback, you can look to take an entry. Okay. But again, you have to manage your risk. So keep that in mind. There are trades where you can risk more than general, right? But those trades are very minimum. They do not happen every day or every week. They'll happen like once every month, you can say, or once every 2 weeks, where it's a very clean setup. So in those kind of trades, you can take a little bit more risk than in general. So you have to identify how much to risk in each trade. You have to identify that. You cannot risk the same percentage in every trade. You have to be able to differentiate between a high probable setup and a low probable setup, right? And most of the time, you should actually ignore the low probable setups and only trade the high probable setups. So right now we don't have any confirmation. We don't have this level broken yet. So we have to wait and see what market does next. So if we get a closing above this high, then on pullback to this order block, we can look for an entry, okay, with risk management. For that, we need to see a break above this high, a strong candle closing above this high. Only then we'll be taking an entry from this order block, something like this. If you want to refine it more, then you can go to 1 minute time frame, and in the 1 minute, what you can do is you can use this as your entry, where we have got this as the extreme order block plus the fair value gap. Stop loss would go below this order block, and you can target this high. This is going to be your initial target. This is going to be your final target. So your setup would look something like this. But for that, what we want to see is a closing above this high, which we don't have yet. So this is very important. And we want to see this closing in the 5 minutes time frame, not in the 1 minute time frame. Okay. So be careful about that. Once we get 5 minute closing above this high, then on pullback, we can look to take an entry. Or also what you can do is you can use Fibonacci from the low to the high, wherever the high will be created, and then from this OT zone you can take an entry, just to be on the safe side. Because this is 1 minute extreme point of interest, in that case it's possible that market may not come down and tap into these levels. So in that case, you might miss your entry. So you can take your entry from the 61% level, and from here also you'll get a decent risk to reward. So this is going to be your first target, and this is going to be your final target in gold. Okay, so this will be your trade setup. But first of all, we want to see a candle close above this high. That is important. It's a very boring day today in gold. All these days, gold has given us very strong move to the upside. If we look at the daily, then we had back to back so much momentum in gold in the recent days. But today, market is very sideways for whatever reason. But tomorrow, we're expecting a good day because we have got CPI data, and we're expecting good price action in gold. If the inflation data comes higher or lower than the expected data. Okay, guys, we're still waiting for market to close above this high. And once we get that, then we will make an entry in gold. But till then, we cannot do anything. We want to see a 5 minute candle close above 36.49. This will be our confirmation for a buy trade. And then on pullback to this order block, we'll be willing to make a trade in gold. But obviously, keep your quantities low because it's not a very trending market today. It's quite sideways, and in that case, you have to manage your risk. So if you want to take this trade, then make sure you keep your risk less. Okay, guys, to like the stream, if it's helping you, And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to join the free Telegram channel where I keep sharing market updates related to gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, currency pairs as well. So till now, there is no closing in gold. So we're still waiting for a 5-minute candle to close above the high. If there is no confirmation, then we are not interested to take an entry. Okay. So as you can see, market is rejecting from this order block. That's the reason I told you not to take early entry. You always wait for a confirmation, for a clean confirmation, high probable confirmation. Only then you make your entry. So now you can see how market is rejecting this zone without a structure shift. That means there is a high chance that market is going to drop further and take out this low. And then market can come down, tap into this order block. And from here, market wants to go to the upside. And from here, market will go up like this, take out this high with displacement. And if that happens, then on pullback would be interested to take a trade. And we will target this high as the initial target and this high as the final target. But let's say if market disrespects this low as well and gives a 1 hour candle closing. So this candle has already closed with a massive wick on the downside, but we cannot buy just because there is a wick on the downside because we did not have a 5-minute structure shift yet. So we cannot buy. So for that, we have to wait for the next 1 hour candle to see what it does. Okay. The next 1 hour candle does something like this and this. Now this is going to give us confirmation that gold wants to drop down, and in that case we can look to sell on a pullback. So this will be the bearish scenario, but let's say that market actually comes down, taps into this order block, and then in 5 minutes gives us a clean structure shift, then we can look to buy from here. So it all depends upon how market is going to react from this order block. So till now, we don't have any confirmation to buy gold. Let's see what market does next. And this is also possible that market has come down to tap into this order block. And from here, market becomes bullish once again. And then you get this kind of back-to-back green candles. So this is also a possibility. If that happens, then we can look to buy from this fair value gap or from this order block, and we can put our stop loss below this low. This will be our initial target, and this will be our final target. So I've given you all the possibilities that can happen in market. Either we see a direct breakout right now with displacement, that is very important. If there is no displacement, then we're not interested to take any trade. So displacement is very important. But if market drops from here, then we have to focus on this zone, which is a 1 hour order block. As you can see over here, this is a 1 hour order block zone. So from here, if we see a clean structure shift, then we'll be interested to take a trade. But if market trades through this and gives us strong bearish 1 hour candle below these two zones, in that case, we'll be looking to sell gold on pullback from a 1 hour point of interest that needs to be created. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, guys, so these are all the possibilities in gold. Now we just have to wait and watch out and see which of these scenarios plays out. And accordingly, you have to make your entry with proper risk management. So gold is dropping. Wait for gold to take out this low and tap into this order block. And after that, you'll see a strong displacement to the upside with fair value gaps, order blocks. In that case, on pullback, you can look to enter a buy trade, target this high as the initial target, and this is going to be your next target. Okay. Hmm. Okay, guys, if you have any queries, you can ask me in the chat. Queries in any trade, if you're stuck in any trade, if you have queries in any pairs, if you want analysis for any other pairs, you can ask me in the chat section, or you can also DM at my Telegram handle, which is a Roy B. Okay, so this is my Telegram handle, and you can DM me here also with your queries, and I'll be happy to help you with your queries. Okay, so right now I don't have any trade in gold, silver, nothing in silver as well. Silver is also bullish. Market has tapped into this 1 hour fair value gap, and from here market has shown good reaction, but I'm not very interested to trade silver right now. I want to see more price action. GBP USD is also bullish. I'm expecting a market to take out this high in the upcoming days. So make sure you buy from a point of interest in the 1 hour or in 4 hour or even in daily time frame and target this liquidities. Okay. Euro USD is also bullish, and same, I'm expecting market to push to the upside, take out this two relatively equal highs, and after that finally take out this high. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting in GBP USD and in Euro USD. Bitcoin market is pushing to the upside, but I want to see more price action. It is not very clear what Bitcoin wants to do right now. I'll wait for more price action. This is an order block, so it's possible that market becomes bearish once again after tapping here and then drops down very much possible. So you have to focus on this zone. But if market trades through this zone like this, in that case, this will be a bullish sign. And then you can look to enter on a pullback from a point of interest, the daily 4 hour, 1 hour. With confirmation, you can target the last all-time high at $124,500. But for now, there is nothing for me in Bitcoin. I have to see more price action. Ethereum has taken out this daily low, and still there is nothing in Ethereum. I want to see at least a breakout of this last high. Then this is going to be something for Ethereum. But right now there is nothing. Solana is the most clearest one as I've seen recently, and it is targeting this high. This is the weekly order block, by the way. So it is going to target this level at 230 in the upcoming days. It is very close to this liquidity, but it's possible that before it targets this liquidity, it can give a pullback. And in that case, you can look to make your entry from this daily order block if you are fortunate enough to get an entry from this order block. If you look at the recent price action, then market has traded from the order blocks again and again and again. So you can see over here, market traded from here, went up, targeted this liquidity, came down, tapped into this daily order block, and again, market went up, targeted this liquidity. Again, came down, tapped into this order block, targeted this liquidity. Again, came down, tapped into this order block, targeted this liquidity. So if you're fortunate enough, then maybe you can catch Solana over here and you can target this liquidity at, it's not liquidity by the way, this is a point of interest. Your liquidity would be this high if now market drops from here. So you can target this. If you want to have a safe target, then you can target this. Or also you can target this, which is the weekly point of interest zone. So this can be a nice trade in Solana if you're interested, and much more clean trade than BTC or Ethereum. Okay, so now let's look at gold once more. So gold is dropping, and I'm expecting market to come down, tap into this order block, and then, like I said, if we see bullish reaction from it, which is very much possible because if you look at the sell, then it's very slow with wicks on the downside, big wicks on the downside, indicating that there is buying pressure, which is there. But because right now is towards the end of the New York session, that is the reason that market is very slow right now. And it's possible that market after tapping into this order block becomes bullish once again. And in that case, we'll be looking to buy gold. And this will be our initial target at $36.48. And this is going to be, sorry, not this one. This is going to be our initial target at $36.57. And this is going to be our final target at $36.75. So one is 57, another is 75. So this will be the two targets for gold. But for that, we want to see taking out this last low, tapping into this order block, and then a strong displacement to the upside. Then on pullback, we'll be entering a buy and we'll target this high, initial target, and this one will be the final target. So these are the analysis that I have for you right now in gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, and also GBP USD and Euro USD. So more updates will obviously be shared in my free Telegram channel, so make sure to join this. And I will see you in tomorrow's analysis video. Till then, take care and trade safe. And if you have any queries, you can DM me in my Telegram handle, which is a Roy B. Okay, so that will be it for today. I will see you tomorrow. Till then, take care and trade safe.